everybody. Welcome back to the channel for another weekly Mounjaro update. This is the video that I do every single Monday where I tell you guys about my past week on my Mounjaro tirzepatide journey, as well as any news stories that are going on, things that are happening in the GLP-1 space. If you're new here, my name is Brittany and I have lost 110 pounds on branded Mounjaro and then on compounded tirzepatide, and I have shared that entire journey here on my channel. You can go back and go to the very beginning from my very first shot and watch up until now, which is 110 pounds lighter. So I'd love to have you stick around, hit that subscribe button, and spend some time with us here. So just going ahead and jumping right on into it, I always start out with my weigh-in for the week. So this week I weighed 144 pounds. Last week I weighed 145 pounds. So that's a loss of a pound this week, which I actually was pretty surprised about because it was back to school week. We definitely did more eating out than normal. There was a lot more eating that was just centered around like grabbing a cheese stick or a protein shake or something when I had the time to do it. And so I really was not expecting a loss this week, but I will take it. Again, if you are not aware, my current goal is to get to 140 pounds and then really dive into full-on maintenance. And I'm not really necessarily doing anything extra special right now that is keeping me in weight loss mode. I think my body, if you've been around, you know, I think my body is just wanting to let go of a little bit more weight, and I'm just allowing it to do so as it sees fit. Chris's weigh-in for this week was the exact same as it was last week. Now, Chris is on monthly injections, as you know, by the recommendation of our doctor, and this is the last week, so he will take a shot on Thursday. Now, he's actually like, I don't know, I'm starting to wonder if Chris is going to be one of those people that is just able to get off of it and be okay. He says that over the past month, he hasn't really noticed any significant increase in food noise or anything like that. Meanwhile, when I was on bi-weekly shots over a year ago now at this point, I was hungry by week 2 and was eating like crazy, the whole second week. So I know everybody's different and everybody responds differently to it. But we're just going to kind of see how it goes again. We don't want him to lose any more weight. He's hanging out around 175, 176 right now, and he is happy with that. He actually wants to build some muscle. So he's going to have to eat more if he wants to build some muscle. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but we're not trying to lose more weight. So that's kind of a little update on Chris. So really quickly, I do want to share with you guys that I actually did just receive my refill from Orderly Meds. I placed this order, which I shared this in the Facebook group as well, but I wanted to make sure I shared it here because it does have the new, the extended bud date sticker on it, and I wanted to show you guys where you could find that. But I placed my order on August the 1st, and it was on my doorstep on August the 8th. So it took Friday to Friday for me to receive it. But what I wanted to show you was the labeling. So all of the bud dates for Orderly now are November. They were previously September. And if you look at the side of the bottle, dropped that. If you look at the side of the bottle where the bud date usually is, it does still have the original label that shows a September the 8th bud date. However, there is a little label on the top here that says the lot number, and then the beyond use date is November the 7th, with a little bud extension sticker there. So I don't know if that'll focus. There we go. So I did want to make sure that I showed that to you guys. So I know that there were some that like people had ordered, they had that little issue, and people had ordered right around when the extension came back, and then they were sent out prior to having the new labels put on them. And so some people didn't get the new labels and they're questioning. I mean, I would obviously be as well, but just so you know, they have the little bud extension sticker on them now, and should be great going forward. So that's the only update that I wanted to have with that. Links always down below for that. They still have all the 3-month promos and all of that, but I did want to share that sticker with you guys. Okay, moving on. So I have a bit of a good feel story for you guys. And I wanted to share this because I think it's important, because we often hear about all of the judgment surrounding the use of GLP-1s, right? Like almost to the point where many of us are even afraid to admit to people that we're on a GLP-1. And I am that person as well. Like I've mentioned a lot of times to you guys that there's not a lot of people in my life that know about my GLP-1 use and how I lost weight. I'm sure they've made assumptions, but as far as like me vocalizing it and me telling them, there's not a whole lot of people. So what happened was Chris and I had to, well, unfortunately, Chris and I had to buy a car yesterday on Saturday. My Traverse finally bit the dust, and I've driven that car for 9 years, and I love it, but it is gone now. So we got a new car yesterday, and when we were getting our new car, we obviously had to share our employment and all of that so that they could, get us verified for a new car. And I shared that I was employed through a 1099 through YouTube, through a few different things, Orderly, YouTube, and small little Amazon affiliate type stuff. But they started asking questions. Well, what's Orderly, right? So I started to tell the sales rep, who was a man of all, that what it was and what it did and how much weight I had lost and kind of what I do. And he was so supportive. It was really strange. He was like, that is awesome. And he was a fit guy, like a guy that you could tell worked out all the time. And I feel like those are the people that we feel like are going to judge us a lot of the time. But he essentially was like, I love that. I love that this is available now for all of these people to get healthier that have not ever been able to get healthier. I have several friends of mine that have been on it. He's like, I am a advocate for it. I 100% believe in it. Like, it was just so good to see this like fit gym rat type guy telling me that he was proud of me for taking this step to lose all this weight and to help others do the same thing and all of that. It was just so like refreshing. And yeah, like he was trying to sell me a car, but I was gonna buy the car either way because like my car was dead. So, and he knew that. But it was just really nice the way that he was like, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you. You've done so well. And I'm sure your whole life is better now and your family's life and all of this. And it was the best. So I just wanted to share that feel good story because not everybody that we think is going to judge us is going to judge us. And that really showed me that sometimes it's just us being scared and us holding this fear that we're going to be judged, because people do, but not everybody. What's that saying? There's a song. It's like, one of the quotes is like, most people are good. Most people are good. It's true. Most of us have good intentions. So I just thought I would share that little feel good story with you guys today. The next thing I wanted to talk about are some new vitamins that I'm going to be adding to my regimen. Now, I used to be really, really good about taking my vitamins every day, and I'm not any longer. I just most of the time do not take any of them except for my prescription anxiety medicine, which again, I've shared with you guys that I'm on. Mostly because it's just, I just don't know. And then I hurry in the morning and I grab that pill and I move on. However, I recently came across a TikTok that a PA, she is a general practicing or like a general like primary physician's assistant. And so she's prescribing a lot of these GLP-1s. And she was talking about 2 different vitamins, and I'll try to remember to link that TikTok down below. But she was talking about 2 different vitamins that can really aid in helping your GLP-1 to work better. And you guys know that I'm not somebody that's like, you need this and you need that and you need this. And so I'm not going to be like, go buy all these things. But for me personally, I think I've decided that I'm going to add these to my regimen. The first one is vitamin D3. So, which is one that I have in my cabinet. But essentially what she said was, if you have low vitamin D, then you will have lower glucose metabolism. So your vitamin D3 and getting it higher is going to support your overall metabolic function. Now, she did say, because somebody had asked in the comments, because I read through them all, D2 or D3, and she said D3 ultimately is better. D2 is okay if that's all you can find, or if you're vegan, because D2 is plant-based, that would be a good option as well. But D3, and the dosage she recommended was between 2,000 and 5,000 IUs a day. So I already have that. I'm just going to start taking it again. It made sense the way she was describing it. And again, she got a lot more medically knowledgeable in her video, so I will try to remember to link it below. And then the other one was magnesium. So she recommended 400 milligrams of magnesium a day, and this was actually really cool. So apparently magnesium affects B cells in your pancreas, which is responsible for the signaling of your body to release insulin. So, you know, your body will say, hey, I need some insulin, and then it's supposed to get released. And apparently if your magnesium is low, then the signaling can get miswired or intercepted or whatever. And so your body won't release the amount of insulin that you need. So you have all this glucose and the insulin's not getting released, and then it's all not getting converted the way that it should. And so that leads to insulin resistance problems, again, metabolic function problems, and all of that. And so I thought that was really, really cool. And so, I am going to add both of those into my thing. She really was speaking a lot about like PCOS and insulin resistance and stuff like that, because there's so much data coming out talking about how GLP-1s can benefit those with PCOS. And so these two vitamins adding to it, and those are cheap things, right? This isn't some $30 protein powder you have to buy or whatever. These are affordable, cheap things you can get for probably less than $10. So I'm definitely going to be adding both of those to mine. And if you are somebody that takes one of these and you've had good experiences, if you've noticed a difference, if you haven't noticed a difference, let me know, of course, as always, down below. So as far as like news stories, I do have one that I want to briefly touch on. And this is typically the video that I touch on all of the news things for the week, right? However, this week, or I guess it was last week, last Thursday, the last video that I posted was actually a big news story video. So there were several different topics that I talked about in that video. And so most of that kind of would have been mentioned in this video. And there was so much that I put it in its own video. So if you want to go back and watch all the stuff that's been going on within the GLP-1 world, we're talking lawsuits, we're talking all types of things. And my light died. So that's how my life works sometimes. Then you can go back and watch that. But other than that, it's just, yeah. So the one that I did want to talk about today is an article from today, actually, like today, the Today Show today, where they were actually talking about the possibility of blindness and the people that are scared and worried about that. And one thing that the reason why I want to share this article with you is because it's actually very positive in terms of the risk of having significant vision loss or blindness from taking it. This article speaks specifically about semaglutide. And I think that it could relieve a lot of people's worries about that and kind of help to calm some of the fear. Because once that started coming out that there were people here and there complaining of vision loss or blindness or whatever, a lot of people freaked out about it. And so this article has a lot of doctors who are coming in and making statements and saying, hey, this is what the real risk is. However, the benefits of a GLP-1 to your overall health are so much more. And so I think this article could just help calm a lot of the fears of those that are worried about that. So I'm going to link that below. I recommend everybody going and reading it and helping to calm yourself down if you're worried that you're going to go blind from taking semaglutide. While they do stress in the article that it has happened to a very, 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 very small number compared to the number of people that are on it, they also stress that the risk is so low that it is almost non-existent compared to the benefits of taking a GLP-1. So definitely go and read that article. As far as my goals for this week, I'm going to get these new vitamins incorporated. Maybe I'll start taking my multivitamin again too if I'm feeling fancy. And this is the first real week, like the full week of school. So this is the first full week that I will have the opportunity to work more during the day, to film more during the day, to get some interviews done for you guys. Finally, this has been a process to get this series started on the channel, but this week we should have Melissa's interview on Thursday, and then I'm also interviewing Peter this week, who is the one that made, I thought his name sounded funny, the intro for my channel. So he is actually going to be interviewed, and his interview will probably come out next week. So I have two on the books. We're going to film them this week and get them out to you guys. So stay tuned for that. And then the inflammation video that I promised is coming tomorrow, which I'm very excited about that because I did a big old deep dive. I'm actually about to film it. I'll probably move to some better lighting and then film it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys tomorrow and deep dive into inflammation and how it actually is decreased with the use of GLP-1s. Have a great day, guys. Bye.